Hi everybody, Robert Dyer, and welcome to the Robert Dyer channel Christmas Countdown. And I can't believe it, but this is the 12th Christmas countdown since I started doing this on the channel in 2012. So I welcome all of you again, those who are returning for the 12th time or the 3rd time, or maybe this is the first time you've been able to find my Christmas countdown amid all the shadow banning going on my channel on YouTube. And this is certainly the most wonderful time of the year, and I have a wonderful product to start off the countdown with this year. This is a partnership between one of the big names in coffee creamers and one of the great ambassadors of Christmas, and that would be the Grinch himself. And this is, holy smokers, the International Delight Grinch Gingerbread Cookie Dough Coffee Creamer. And you have some wonderful artwork that we'll take a closer look at here. Certainly the Grinch is one of the great Christmas specials of all time. I guess it's one of the few that may or may not still be available to watch for free on television. And they have, obviously many movies have been made. I think they've all been pretty high quality movies. And depending how old you are, they're one or the other may be your nostalgic Grinch every year that you watch. But I have to say the Grinch has always struck me as being quite Germanic in terms of the Germanic idea, the tradition of there being a sort of a dark or evil Santa Claus that goes with the good Santa Claus every Christmas Eve. And the Grinch is sort of like that. He's got the Santa Claus outfit. He starts off being a rather negative figure, and then after he drinks some of this corporate coffee creamer, his heart grows 10,000 times in size and all that. And of course it's probably not surprising that there's sort of a Germanic influence on the Grinch story, because Dr. Seuss himself, of course, was of German descent. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the packaging here. We have Grinch Gingerbread Cookie Dough, International Delight logo over a cup of coffee. And you've got this Christmas ornament, one of those retro glass ball ornaments with a little metal thing at the top. It says Grinch. And there's the Grinch himself in full pea green color with his Santa Claus hat on. The facial expression is not clear whether he's made the transformation yet. And you've got over here, who is this, Taylor Momsen. And we've got this sort of interloper here, not from the original Grinch cartoon, but representing the gingerbread cookie dough. Over here we've got a more lazy representation, no frosting on it. Here we've got a Grinch present and the dog. Another more spectacular gingerbread man. We've got a stocking pinned up to, I don't know what, an old brown wall. Creamer Nation Unite. Give us a shout at hashtag Creamer Nation. And here on the back it says, then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. And here's more of a scene from the actual program, but I don't know, is that the best way to market the product? A wonderful, awful idea? I guess we'll find out when we taste this wonderful, awful idea that someone in the corporate boardroom had. And here we have the nutrition facts. About 63 servings per container, so 63 cups of coffee. That ought to get you through a few days. 1 tablespoon, I don't know how you're supposed to measure that out with a little pouring mechanism on the top. So it's not too bad as far as sodium or fat. Those are all low single digits. 10 milligrams of sodium, 5 grams of sugar. But what are the chances you're going to be able to measure that out with this very inaccurate system? I don't know. Okay, so I removed the inner seal on here. It was tighter than the Michael Schenker group, so I did that off camera. But now let's pop this open and see about the aroma here. It's definitely got a strong gingerbread aroma. So here's the cup of coffee. And it's definitely got that gingerbread aroma to it now. I have to say that after I stirred it up, a tremendous gingerbread aroma rose up, practically filling the whole room. So that's definitely a point in the favor of this already. So let's go ahead and see how it tastes. Well, I have to say that they got the aroma right and they got the flavor right. They didn't just add ginger to it. It really has the taste of gingerbread, if you had the bread loaf, or of a gingerbread cookie. And it seems like they have a little bit of, well, of course they said cookie dough on it, so it's probably not surprising, but they were able to pull it off. Sometimes a product will say it's a hamburger flavor, and then they'll just have a flavor of ketchup and mustard or something. But here they've actually seemed to have pulled it off. It certainly goes well with the coffee because I used I have a Taster's Choice decaffeinated. I have some other more stronger flavored coffees, but I decided to use this so that we get the most accurate test of the creamer flavor. Bob, I just flew in from Huber Heights in my private jet. I think I'm the only plane at the air park that has 2 flight attendants. If you don't mind, let me test all the different bedrooms here, like Goldilocks, till I find just the right one. You got so many empty rooms here, Bob. Can we get some all-pair girls from Eastern Europe to fill them up? Now, who is this strange man who's wandering around the backyard? Don't worry, Bob. He's with me. That's Sandro. You know, over the last few months I've been traveling the world, following up on tips from members of the Robert Dyer cult. In places like Europe, we found Sandro frozen in an ice cave underneath a monastery in Samos, Spain. He still thinks the war is going on. And let's face it, Bob, you and I know it still is. So he'll be here for a few days before he'll be moving on to a permanent assignment at the Charles Manson Institute for Strategic Studies in Huber Heights, where I think he'll be a useful member of our team. For now, he's simply patrolling the backyard, patrolling the grounds. Sandro, short for Alessandro, may be distinguished by his shoulder-length hair, white pirate shirt, buccaneer pants and boots, and strangely, a button-down cashmere sweater with the buttons just on the bottom part and open here at the top. I ask no questions. When it's time for bed, he'll bring you up some cognac that'll help you sleep better. For now, I guess I've just got this coffee. I thank you for bringing up a cup of this for me with the Grinch coffee creamer in it. That hits the spot. Hits the spot.
Hits the spot.
Well, I have to say this is a great product to start off the countdown with. It's definitely very high quality from a name that you expect that from, I think. They certainly have a lot of great flavors of creamer. I would say that, as I mentioned, the flavor they promised was definitely pulled off. The only negative thing I can say is that I think I would have liked, as much as I like gingerbread, I think eggnog would probably be the most Christmas flavor you could have. And I noticed they have two flavors, this and some sort of peppermint, which that's kind of disappointing because there's 1,000 peppermint creamers available even year round. So I think they missed the boat by not having the eggnog, but certainly I think gingerbread comes in number 2 in what you think of for Christmas. I may be completely blanking out on another possible flavor, but and then they had I think they made pretty good use of the space on here, pretty good artwork. So I think, considering all that, this is a great way to celebrate the holidays at every time of the day. If you have a decaffeinated coffee like I use for this review, you can be drinking it all night. Every cup of coffee you can have a Christmas experience. Remind yourself it's the Christmas season, as well as when you're watching the programs or movies, and certainly the Grinch special and movies. This would be the perfect beverage to have with that. It's also something that has a special flavor, unlike the Grinch. I think the Hershey Kisses or something, it's just like a green wrapper but not a special flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a very solid 4 stars out of 5. I think if they had an eggnog, then I might go with a 5-star review. So I hope they'll consider that for next year. But for this year, this was the most creative and interesting of the holiday coffee creamers I've found so far. So I hope you like this video. Share it with your friends. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time on this Christmas countdown. Bye, everybody.